Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. It's Friday, May 5th. My name is Alan, and I want to welcome you to my Spiritual Growth Through Recovery podcast. The purpose of these videos is to grow my spirituality by following the AA program of recovery, and I do that by being honest, vulnerable, and accountable, which is why I make the videos. All right, I'm no expert in AA or recovery or spirituality. I'm just sharing my experiences. I try to live life on life's terms and do it sober. The recipe we follow here is we read the daily reading out of the AA Daily Reflections book. There's a link in the description if you'd like to follow along. And I'll just share my take on the reading and any other topic that's spinning around my head. All right, well, let's get going here. So the topic today is the forest and the trees, and then core value number 4, and kind of wrapping up the whole topic of core values for the week. All right. So May 5th. The forest and the trees. What comes to us alone may be garbled by our own rationalization and wishful thinking. The benefit of talking to another person is that we can get his direct comment and counsel on our situation. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 60. I cannot count the times when I have been angry and frustrated and said to myself, I can't see the forest for the trees. I finally realized that what I needed when I was in such pain was someone who could guide me in separating the forest and the trees. Who could suggest a better path to follow? Who could assist me in putting out fires and help me avoid the rocks and pitfalls? I asked God when I'm in the forest to give me the courage to call upon a member of AA. All right, forest and the trees. I don't think I've ever said I can't see the forest for the trees. So everyone talks about when it comes to us alone, those thoughts can be garbled and we can spin them, right? Because based on our past experience and how we try to function in the world, what's the likelihood that our perspective is off? I'm learning more and more that mine's off a lot. That's okay. And I've always kind of looked at things like when something happens out here, I go to my little file cabinet in my brain and I open it up and I go, okay, passive aggressive. Okay, that means I'm wrong and I'm unlovable. Okay, that's what that means. All that shit's just based on conditioning and previous experiences and who knows where else. It's garbage, really, right? So the benefit of talking to another person is we can get someone else's opinion. I mean, that starts with humility, thinking my perspective isn't right. We hold on to our perspective because it benefits us somehow, and it's humility, right? And then again, well, what are my motives in recovery? Do I want to get better or do I want to be right? Being right hasn't really helped me. Talks about the forest for the trees. And what does that mean? It means, seeing the big picture instead of just all narrowed in. The big view in things instead of just so narrow-minded and I want my way and I don't care how it impacts anything. I finally realized what I need in such pain was someone who could guide you, right? So, I'm grateful for this program. I don't want people that agree with what I say and yes men. We're all the same thoughts because that doesn't help me. I'm not changing, right? I ask God when I'm in the forest to give me courage to call upon an AA member. We don't have to do this alone, and this comes back to humility. So, anyway, that's kind of what I got out of this one here. So I want to segue into the final core value. Now, I did want to kind of just show. So for the core values, I kind of put together this little picture here with each one, and I have this hanging on my wall. And I kind of want to do this just so it's kind of a reminder of who do I want to be, right? So once again, core values are beliefs that we hold most dear. And those values, everything else revolves around these. So it's a central part of who we are, who we want to be, all right? Sacrifice. So what is sacrifice? It's the act of giving up something that we want in order to obtain something of higher value. So it's, I'm not going to spend this money on something I really don't need because I might need it later. Or, whatever that looks like. So it's just giving up one thing for another. Obviously, both things have value. It's interesting how we can put more value on the less valuable thing because for whatever reason that means something to us, right? So the little phrase that I have, little statement I have is, what immediate want will I sacrifice for long-term value? And a lot of times it's my feelings. I want to feel better, so I don't care what the cost about my self-esteem, money, relationships, don't care, right? Why is sacrificing important? It builds character and discipline. It changes us. It gets us out of self a little bit. It strengthens our willpower and our determination. It provides better options when we delay gratification. Right? builds better relationships, doing for others, sacrificing our time and our energy, for other people. Why did I choose sacrificing? I live for the moment way, way too much. And I'm not happy about that. I want what I want and when I want it, and regardless of the consequences. I think about the first step where it's, admitted we were powerless and our lives have become manageable. I know I'm powerless and I can see it's unmanageable. I still care. And that I don't like. I can be so selfish. I just can't take myself anymore. So how am I doing on this? I'm still way too feeling oriented and trying to pacify that way too much. I have a long way to go on this one, and that's okay too. So just want to quickly recap what are my core values, ones I've kind of stated. So I'm going to kind of show this again. That stupid glare off the thing. Perseverance, humility, integrity, and sacrifice. So those are my core values. I just felt like it was kind of interesting to share those. Obviously, I want to get better at those, and maybe in 6 months we'll maybe do an update and see how I'm doing. So anyway, hope you had a wonderful week. Weekend is upon us. I don't know where you live, but the weather here in Kansas should be nice. And I just want to encourage you to be willing to seek out a different opinion on things. Don't always feel like you got to solve everything and you got to be right. And you can ask yourself, how has that been working for you? So anyway, I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll be back on Monday for some new stuff. Until then, peace out.